Hi, hello, how are you? Good morning, happy Tuesday. I am a ball of nerves right now. I have an interview at 4 today for a new position at my job that if I could get, it would just be so great, and I am so freaking nervous. I know I can do this job and I know I'll be able to do it well. I just worry about things like seniority playing like a big factor, because there are some people who are applying that have been in IRC longer than I have, but I don't necessarily think that that means that they're more qualified than I am. I just don't know how like my director and the people that are part of the hiring process are going to view that. So I have just been so nervous for days, and it's today at 4 o'clock, and I just want it to be over already. And I think I'll have to wait a week potentially before I hear anything, depending on how many interviews have been done before me and how many are still left. So I'm like, this Friday I could be hearing about it, or like next Monday or Tuesday, which just feels so far. But reading wise, I am currently reading Shadow of Night by Deborah Harkness. This might be the last book I finished this month. It's the 26th today, and I thought maybe I'd be able to slip Blackout in at the end of the month instead of reading Elantris, but I'm only 6 chapters in, which is 75 pages. The last couple of nights I've just been exhausted, and I feel like I'm reading for a really long time. It's just, I don't know what it is about this that I like read slower and it takes me a while. It was taking me a really long time before I finally found or realized that there was an audiobook of The Discovery of Witches on Spotify, and I checked Spotify and I checked Everend, and neither one of them has an audiobook for it. So I'm reading like 2 pages a night and then just being absolutely exhausted and going to sleep. So I don't know, maybe I'll finish this by the end of the month, but it might be the only book that I finish, and then I don't have any graphic novels left over. Blackout is really thin, it's only 200 pages, so I don't know, maybe if I read it like during my lunch or something and then still try to read this, I will be able to finish both of them. But I just might not hit 5 books this month, which is fine because I'm still 5 books ahead on my reading thing. My Goodreads reading challenge, my brain is just all over the place, but that's where I am. I'm enjoying it. Our characters, Diana and Matthew, are in 1590 in Elizabethan England, and Matthew is trying to find someone to teach Diana how to wield her magic, and also him and his friends are trying to help her blend into the time period. Her accent is really weird to them. The way that she speaks is really off. And obviously they knew like immediately that something was up just with Matthew marrying, and with Diana and the way that she is, because she's a modern woman. She does not always listen to what Matthew wants, and I thought it was kind of funny that she's like, I just want to blend in, like I want to be an Elizabethan woman, and he's like, you want to be an Elizabethan woman? Stop arguing with me. That's not what wives here do. You listen to me. I thought that was really funny. But they do find this lady, Widow Beaton, and she is scared of Diana's magic, and it's kind of messes them up because she goes and she claims now that she's sick. This boy who had been there to take her measurements is also claiming that she's sick. So now people think that Diana is a witch, and this is a time period when they were doing witch hunts. And so these people come to the house and they're questioning Diana, and luckily Matthew is a scary man. There's some like assumption that he might be a vampire. They call him a were, W-E-A-R-H, and Matthew thinks that that is going to keep people away. Their fear of him and his power, but we shall see. So this day is gonna go by so slow. I'm gonna go back to work. I'm working from the couch right now, and I will update you when I have made some progress. Hello, happy Monday. I'm continuing this on to the next week. It's the 1st and I have off today, which is now really nice. I got woken up to dishes being put away, and our kitchen is right on the other side of our bedroom, so it was so loud, and I came out, and it turns out Skylar wasn't able to sleep. He like fell asleep on the couch around 9, and I got him to come to bed around midnight, and then he slept until like 4 or 5, and then he was just up. So sometimes when that happens, he just sits on the couch. And today what happened is that he wanted to be productive. So, and it was really nice. He did some laundry. He like chopped up some stuff in the backyard that needed to be taken care of. And he washed the dishes, and he was putting them away in the cabinet, and it was just so loud. And I came out and I was so grumpy. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm trying to be quiet. I was like, please just wait until I'm up. So he just left the dishes on the counter, but I just wanted to sleep in, and I did go back to sleep until about 10 o'clock, and then I got up, and it just throws me off having him up in the morning when I'm up, because I really do enjoy that being like personal time. Even when he was on a day schedule, he wasn't getting up until around noon on the weekends, so like I still had the mornings to myself. And I got ready, and I was working on like my grocery list and some other things, and we ended up going to go get lunch, and now we're home. And I knew after he ate he was going to be tired, so he is sleeping now, but I'm gonna have to wake him up in about an hour. I feel really bad that he's like not getting as much sleep as he is probably going to need, but that's okay. I wanted to update you on my reading. I am halfway through Shadow of Night. It is just taking me so long, and it is unfortunately one of those books that like it takes me twice as long to read as other books. I'm reading 30 pages in an hour. I really don't understand it. I feel like part of it is the writing style, part of it is the time period that it's set in. I just read a lot slower. So I'm 273 pages in, and there's 577, which means I still have 300 pages left. I'm going to try and read like as much as possible today since I'm off. I'm going to go to the gym as soon as Skylar goes to work at about 4, be done by 5, grocery shop, come home, and I'm wanting to read from like 7 to 10 potentially. It just depends on how I feel. I still have to like make dinner and stuff like that, but that is the plan. I'm really enjoying the book. There just hasn't been anything super big that's happened that has made me been like, oh, I just can't put it down. Like, small things happen, and I'm like, okay, one more chapter, and then it gets wrapped up really nicely. So Matthew and Diana are in 1590s Elizabethan England. They visited Philippe, which is Matthew's father. He was very, very against them being together. Ended up kind of growing on Diana, adopted her into his family of the de Clermonts, which gave her protection. Her and Matthew got married again in a way that Philippe approved of. They finally slept together. Diana is pregnant now, and they've had to leave to go to London to find a witch who can hopefully help Diana learn her powers. They did just have a run-in with a vampire, Andrew something, I can't remember, who like rules London but has an understanding with Philippe that the de Clermonts do not fall under his, you know, authority or whatever, and they're to be left alone. And Diana has made friends with Mary Pembroke, and they are kind of exploring alchemy together. The vampire king or whatever agrees to provide somebody to Diana who will help her work on her magic so that they can leave. And Matthew is really, really stressed out about the fact that they're having a baby now, and is like, we need to leave right after the first like gestation period so that hopefully the baby isn't affected by time walking. So they're on a really tight schedule, and I'm just really hoping we can get to like the meat of the story soon so that it picks up. I mean, like I said, I'm 270 pages in and it still feels like it's dragging a little bit, but I am knitting right now, trying to run through the ball that I have on, wanting to crochet, wanting to edit. There's just so little time for all of the things that I want to do, but hopefully I will get some of it done and I will update you when I have made more progress. Hello, happy Wednesday. I wanted to come on and update you. I'm not done with Shadow of Night. I still have 150 pages-ish. I'm hoping to finish it tomorrow. It's finally picking up. I am really enjoying it. We have found witches to help Diana. She has discovered that she is a weaver. She's somebody who's able to create her own spells. That's why she can see like all of these colors around. It's a little complicated to explain, but she's working with a group of witches and there's like a prophecy of sorts where it was like foretold that a very powerful witch was going to be coming, and it's Diana. They are on the hunt for Ashmole 782. They've left London. They're in Prague now. The Queen sent Matthew. She has also kind of like threatened Matthew and Diana. She knows that the congregation would not approve of the two of them being together. So she sends Matthew there to get Edward Kelly, I think, Keeley. He is an alchemist, to bring him back to London because it's rumored that he can create the Philosopher's Stone, which in this setting gives the person untold riches. And she says that if she had the Philosopher's Stone, if she had more money, she could take out the Spanish right now. So that's what's going on with them. I'm really enjoying it. Last night I read 60 pages. Yesterday I also read 65 pages. The days before that, getting to read, I was barely being able to do 30, but I feel like it's finally picking up and I'm really enjoying it. So for April, I wanted to update you on what my TBR is going to be. So trying to finish Shadow of Night tomorrow, reading Blackout on the 6th and the 7th, and then finally starting with Elantris. You can see I started this a while ago. I'm almost 200 pages in, but it's been so long that I'm probably going to restart it. I had really enjoyed this when I was reading, but the font is really tiny, although it's similar to what I've been reading recently. Nevernight, Shadow of Night, a lot of these books, so I feel like this is the perfect time to kind of dive into this and really get into Brandon Sanderson's books. I have read his like YA books, Skyward, but I want to get into this, and this is going to be a big undertaking, entering this, I think it's Mistborn world, but I'm really looking forward to getting into a world that has so many books and it's just never ending. Another series I really want to read is by Terry Brooks, Shannara. I started and I have several of the books, but I need to pick up others. I had the first book and I've read the first book. I think I've read like 5 or 6 books in the series, but out of order. I didn't realize that I was reading out of order. And I've read the first book, but it was years ago and I left it at an ex's house, unfortunately, for like a friend of his to read, and I never got it back. So I need to get the first book of that and dive into that series as well. But these are both such established worlds that were created in like the 70s that there's 20-30 books, so getting into them is just a really big undertaking. But I think that this year that is what I'm wanting to do once I finish some of these series off. So speaking of finishing series, The Iron Knight by Julie Kagawa. I read the first 3 books, absolutely loved them. I got like 50 pages into this and just wasn't feeling it. I don't know why. But I flew through her other books, so I'm hoping that I will be able to get through this really quickly. The font is really wide. The reading level is pretty low for me. It is a like traditional YA book. I think I read the first couple of books in middle or high school. So I'm hoping that this will be a breeze. And then I want to read Only a Monster. So I am down to the last like 10 books, 15 books or something like that on my TBR. I want to say closer to 12, but I'm getting down to the last of these books that I have, and probably in like June I'm gonna have to go out and start buying more books, which is exciting. I might go to the library and read some of them and then purchase them just in case I don't like them, but the last few books that I have are a hodgepodge, and there's no like rhythm to the month of reading. But Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. I don't really know anything about this. I don't know why I picked it up. Probably because of I lost my train of thought. There was a bug on this, but this is what I'm going to be reading. And then The Gifts That Bind Us. I read, oh, what was the first one? All Our Hidden Gifts last year, and I really enjoyed it. It's set in Ireland, something like that. So the magic is very Celtic. One of the girls goes missing. She's taken into like almost like a dream world. People think that her friend might have murdered her. The magic that they get it was really spooky and just really, really good. And again, this was one that I got maybe like 50 pages in and just wasn't feeling it. That happens to me when I read one book and I'm like on a high from having read the first one, and then you have to come down and kind of get back into the next one. I have trouble with that, like getting back into the next one. So that is my next book. And then, oh, Priory of the Orange Tree. I have had this for like 2 years, and I think the prequel just came out or something like that, but this is a big book. This is intimidating to think of reading, but again, I'm at the end of books that I have on my shelves that are unread, and it's just one I'm gonna have to read. I have to get it over with. So we'll see how it goes. It's, my god, it is such a huge book. The font is relatively large, and I feel like there's a lot of gapping at the bottom. So hopefully I will be able to get through it quickly. I don't know much about it. I know it's about dragons. But that's pretty much it. So those are the books that I am hoping to read in April. The 2 books that I'm hoping to finish from my March TBR. And if I get this new position, my first paycheck, I am probably going to go spoil myself at Barnes & Noble a little bit, spend like $100 on some books that have come out that I have been like waiting on being able to buy. Ooh, there's a wasp in front of my window. Ooh. But yeah, spend some money on some books I've been wanting to buy. If I read everything on my shelf, then I'm gonna have to go buy books in order to be able to read, or I'm gonna have to go to the library and pay my fine and get them from there. So I will update you when I have finished Shadow of Night. Hello, happy Friday. I am off today and I've done nothing. Well, I went and had my taxes done and I paid rent, but since that I have done nothing but sit on the couch, and it just feels so nice. The last couple of weeks, Sarah and I have just had a ton of stuff to do around the house and family wise, so we've been really busy, and he kind of last minute decided that he was going to go out to Palm Springs. His best friend is in town visiting from Colorado, and they have like a group of friends that are getting together, and he was supposed to go get his taxes done with me, but his are less complicated than mine because I do like Instacart and Etsy and stuff like that, so I feel like he gets a good return just doing it through like H&R Block online. I was like, just do that. We'll do it Saturday. Go, you know, see Dane. So he left this morning after I went and got my taxes done, and now I'm home and I have finished Shadow of Night. So I had almost finished it last night. Skylar had band practice. He's in a band now, and he came home when I only had like 40 pages left, and I just set it aside so we could like watch a video together before I went to sleep. And then I finished the last 40 pages this morning. It was really good. I'm giving it like 3.5, 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, but I think I mentioned this. It took me 250, 300 pages to really get to the meat of the story. A lot of it was just like build up and then bouncing around before they finally got to where they spent most of the time in the book, and when Diana met like the witches that were going to help her figure out what kind of power she was going to have. So I just felt like I was wanting more. I'm just now realizing that my like glasses are transitioning because of the sun coming in. That's a little bit annoying. But the first book was so go, go, go from the very first chapter, and this, I mentioned this, it's like you get to this peak of a book and you finish it, and then you have to slowly come back down as you get into the second book, and it takes a long time to get back up. And I struggle with that in reading the second or third book in a series, which is part of why it's taken me almost 2 weeks to finish this, but I finally did. I'm going to start Blackout tonight. The plan is to read half of it tonight, half of it tomorrow, and then start Elantris on Sunday. So hopefully I can stick to that schedule. I will update you. No, I'm actually just going to end this here so that this isn't too long. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how your week has been going, how your April is so far. Mine is good. It's only the 5th. I'm still waiting to hear back on that job. It will have been 2 weeks on Tuesday, and I just want to hear back about it already. I feel like I'm just holding my breath, waiting for like a call or an email or something. I know it'll be a call from HR, and every time my phone has rung in the last couple of days that it's been like the Teams call, I have like tensed up so much. I just want this position so bad. But it's been a good few days so far. Fingers crossed next week I get that call. But thank you again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.